Hey everyone, it's Matt again with another video, and today we are going to be modifying this. So a little bit of backstory here. This needs to be longer. So whatever configuration this is currently set up in, this is somehow interfering with something, and we need to put a cable in between here so that this can still hook up to the transmission, and this can be kind of pushed off to the side. So we need to make a little cable, little extension cable to fit into here, and it doesn't need to be long. It apparently needs to only be about 6 to 8 inches. So what I've got that right here. So what we'll do is effectively remove this, put this in between, and you would think that would be easy until you start cracking this open. So what we'll do is we'll take the big honking adapter off, and this is a big old VDO one, and they have a built-in signal generator in it, so whatever they're doing with that. Little metric key in there, and a standard right angle adapter. But, so this is the gear, a little tang shaft in there, but the problem arises when you start pulling this apart. So this is a 156 shaft, and this is a giant, basically extension coupler purely to encase this enormous shaft that connects to the gear. Now, why is this a problem? For starters, 156 is a pretty obscure size. In adapters, that's fine, right? Because these get mounted onto gears and so on and so forth. But when you start talking with actual cables, you start getting into the really obsolete. 156 tips are almost never used in anything anymore. 9 times out of 10, things are either 104 square or 187 tang. That's almost exclusively what it is. So I had to think pretty hard. I said, I need to connect both of these things, but I can't just toss this because just of how the setup is needed. So this this has to stay, this has to stay, this has to stay. So I needed to figure out how I was going to connect those two, and going through my catalog of parts, it was, just not possible. There just wasn't anything in my catalog that pinched up to cable that had the ability to receive a 156 tip until I remembered over here, or over there, kind of however this shows up on camera, I have a couple parts trays with something called special tips written all over it. So I took a quick peek, and lo and behold, I found one. It's in remarkably good condition, but this is not something I have in abundance. It just isn't. So it's a 156 tang, fits nice and smooth, but the diameter this takes is quite large, and it's a lot bigger than I usually look at. Now, normally when I make cables, I use 150 core. This requires 187 core. It is quite thick and almost unused, and I never use it to make anything I make here because 150 core works just fine, and 150 core has many more tips to decide from, so it's much more, you've got a lot more utility out of it. But just with this scenario, it is what it is, right? So what I need to do is put this with this on the one side, so it pairs up with that, and then use this 156 tang tip with the 187 core. So get that all mounted in and put together, and then we should have our little extension to go in there. So we'll get that started. So now that we've solved that problem, we got everything all laid out that we need, and now all we got to do is put it all together. Because this is so short, I just went ahead and cut all this ahead of time. Now this is the 187 core. Let's see here. Yeah, I just do not use this in day-to-day work. It's so thick and just unnecessary for what I use it for. So I still sell it, but I do not use it to make anything I make here. I just don't. Yeah, just as a nice comparison, that's 187 to 130, and you can see that's quite a difference. So it's pretty thick, pretty big cable, and like I said, the tips just are not as prevalent for it, but we'll get that going here and make our little extension cable so they can tuck this wherever they need to tuck it, and yeah, we'll go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is crimp on our 187, or sorry, not 187, 7/8 ferrule onto this side. Like so. And then get our other 7/8 on this side. Make sure you get the nut the right way. And there we go, we have our extension. But we need to still mount our tips. Now, this side here, pretty simple, it just goes on like so. Doesn't go any further, doesn't go any deeper, but does fit our 156 on both. Make sure, double check always. So now we need to crimp this onto here. Now, I had a bit of a look to see what I had here to crimp it, and I'm thinking number 3 will crimp it. It should, anyway. I really have to find out. Oh, that did the trick. Perfect. Now with this, we just slide it on in. And it's going to be a bit of a snug, tight fit. It's, yeah, well, that is snug. But it does work. Just a little snug. That's fine. So, now what we need to do is make sure we have our other tip about, I would say, yay long. So we got to cut off that much total, right? So snip that off. Pull out the inner core. Gonna do our little trick again with the depth. Once we do that and do that, snip it about here. And that should be the right length. And it looks about so. But, like always, before you crimp on the last bit, make sure it goes on in and fits. So that's why you test everything. I didn't clean out the burr on that. So Get my reaming tool in there, push that flange over. There we go. Perfect. Fits nice. So we'll pull the inner core out. Oh. Crimp this together. And there we go. That's our inner core extension cable complete. Just needs a little bit of grease, which actually I'll do right now. Just a little cable, so get that in there. Yeah, it's really stiff and really, yeah, I don't like using this cable at all. It's a reason why I don't like using it. But hey, I'm just gonna go switch my gloves and we'll continue. All right, so I'm back, everything's in, everything turns smooth-ish. It's a very tight connection, it's very fat. And yeah, I don't like it. I do not like using this size, but we got it all done. So what we will do is connect our cable first. Oh, no, other side. Oh, wait. Did I screw that up? Oh, don't tell me I did. No. Yeah, tip, tang, fit in between. This wants the, yeah, okay, yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so this wants the, yeah. Okay, so yeah, oh, lovely. Okay, so yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, this is why I tell you to check everything, but I guess, you know, even so, I still screwed it up. So I'll have to I will have to actually tear this apart and remake it. Let's see here. Think of an easier way to fix this. Okay, so this needs a female end sticking out, but I need a nut. Sorry, a thread on that side. This side needs the nut, but it needs a, okay, so I pretty much just messed up the internals, which in hindsight is not that bad. Just make sure I have the right side here. Yeah. Okay. So in hindsight, it isn't that bad. Okay. So what I need to remake now is a modification to this cable, because what this needs now is the same thread, the same ends on the ferrule, it's just the inner core is wrong. So let's see if we can change that by simply and literally moving them around. And the answer is no, because of just how the ferrule is made. It does not go any deeper than this, and therefore can't come out any further than this. So, how do we fix that? The inner core is going to work. At the end of the day, the inner core will work. It will connect to here and here. It's just fixing what we screwed up here. So, leave that super greasy thing there. Wipe off my hands a bit. And what we are going to do is leave this end alone. And what we are going to have to do is pull this down. So how we normally mount the cables, we bump it up as far into the shaft as we can. We can't do that this time because it is physically bottoming out right at the tip and needs to slide down more. So what we need to do is pull this ferrule off, remount a new one with a different depth so it bottoms out where we need it to bottom out, which is going to be, let's see here, where do you need to bottom out? Put everything kind of together to dry fit it. It's a lot of grease. Like so. So this needs to bottom out. Let's see what I got here to point to you. So right about here. So we need to take down a good 3/4 of an inch-ish. Is what we need, because we need the ferrule to bottom out on this edge here so the nut can go on and everything's nice and tight. So we will do that, or I will do that, and I'll be right back with that fixed. So I was able to successfully do that, but because I pinch it up so high up, I was literally able to put it in my vise, and when I was yanking it out, I started just pulling it out, but keeping it super taut. So I was thinking to myself, oh hey, I'll just yank that out and push it in. And that worked great. Until I realized now this side is not working, so. The glamorous world of cable making. Okay, so I'm going to just remake this entire outer casing. And I will be right back. So, I just finished redoing that and then realized I didn't turn the camera on. Or at least, I thought I did. So that's okay, fair enough. Just one thing after another. But anyways, so this is now connected. This is now connected. Reattach our big old metric VDO signal generator / splitter to it. And there we go. Clear as mud, but got the job done eventually. Everything from missing parts to doing things wrong, but finally got there in the end, and the customer will be able to reconfigure this how they need to. Yeah, so in the end, a job well done. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. As always, like and subscribe, and until the next time, have a good one.